Hello, and welcome to Unfiltered Dissent, the podcast where creators challenge the narrative and boldly speak truth to power. Dissent isn't just disagreement, it's democracy in action. I'm Amy Zellmer, author, activist, and unapologetic truth teller. This is a space for creators and activists who stand in opposition to mega extremism and the forces trying to silence us. If you are someone who wants to resist injustice, this podcast is for you. Here we say the quiet parts out loud. No censorship, no sugarcoating, just raw, unfiltered truth. So let's get into it. Today's guest is Trevor Silva, and we're talking all about how shopping and what businesses people support is very much a form of resistance. Trevor is the CEO and co founder of My Cluck Hut, an unapologetically people first company with a soap problem. Born in Northern Virginia, but Nashville based since 2005, Trevor spent 16 years as a professional drummer before realizing the touring life had become a dead end. In 2020, while the world felt like it was on fire, he made a choice: stop complaining and start building the world he wanted to live in. Armed with an incredible soap formula created by his wife, Dr. Jennifer, he launched a company not just to sell products, but to prove the business can be done differently. At My Cluck Hut, soap is the vehicle, but the mission is the movement, built on values like equity, sustainability, and radical kindness. Trevor's model flips the script on traditional capitalism because here, people come first, always. Welcome, Trevor. So
Hey,
excited to have you.
thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So maybe let's go back to 2020
Oh, please no.
and talk about
Although,
talk
you know
ab-
what? At this point in this presidency or regime, maybe,
right.
maybe. I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Okay, back to
But in
2020.
2020, you made a decision and you know, talk a little bit about that, about what brought you to starting your business.
Yeah. So this really was when the pandemic started. It was a lot because of course, the administration that we had in place
Mhm.
and the leadership or lack thereof, and then the fact that um, everyone was already so divided. And I thought to myself, well, okay, there's this pandemic, and this is the moment, and people are going to realize there's this disease that we don't understand. And obviously, as a good human, you go, well, if I don't understand it, I don't know science, I'm not a scientist, I'm going to trust the scientists. We're going to come together and we're going to protect each other. Obviously, this is what good humans do. We'll wear a mask, we'll stay home if we need to, and we'll get through this together. And then this wild thing happened where none of that happened, and we did the exact fucking
Right.
opposite. And
Yep.
so I'm watching, I guess they called them press conferences. It was that orange guy whining every day for about an hour and talking about putting light up your butt and, bleach and all the things that
Drinking some
came.
bleach.
Sure, all those fun scientific things. And then everybody online that opposed the staying home, the masks, became scientists. Apparently, I didn't know they went to school, and they were all of a sudden professionals. And so it just became really disheartening to see how quickly people
Hmm.
would just throw others under the bus and didn't care, and I stop, of course, and I think to myself, there's people out here that are immunocompromised. There's people out here that are elderly that can't get this, and especially something we don't understand, at the very beginning. So I got really down. I got really depressed just seeing how terrible people could be, and physically violent, attacking people for wearing
Mm.
masks and stuff like that. Where I'm like, really? We're doing okay. And I had come off the road about 2 years before from touring. I had a studio at the house doing sync licensing and stuff. And really, I have some songs actually still play like on TV and whatnot, but not enough to like. I get the check and I kind of laugh like, no, not going back to that. But I also wasn't feeling original about it. I was making music that they wanted to sound like some other music. So when the pandemic started, it was like, wow, what do I want to do when I grow up? I spent my whole life playing drums. 34 years I played, and I was like, that's what I did. And so I decided when the pandemic started, alcoholism was going to be what I did. And so got really into it. Of course, white wine out of the box. But when you're buying the cases,
Classy.
oh my God, Corbett Canyon, baby. Buying the case of box wine. It was a lot. And we got an above ground pool. We had just gotten chickens pre-pandemic, hence where the chicken theme comes from. But just a lot of drinking, a lot of trying to just medicate. Now, my amazing partner, my wife, on the other hand, she is the director of science and STEAM from Metro Nashville Public Schools, and she's a badass. And she was reinventing science education at the time, and so her escape from virtual meetings was, well, she tried paint by numbers first, and I've never seen anyone fail at paint by numbers. Oh, you guys need to talk. You'll be friends. It was wild. I was like, how is this? But she's a very analytical thinker. Like, that's science background. So she started using her science to create the perfect soap formula. She's like, well, what if we could make something that was eco-friendly and sustainable? Well, then I chimed in because I have sensory sensitivities, um, to extra strong scents and to stuff on my skin. I was like, well, what if also we made something that, didn't leave a film and that didn't dry you out, etc. So she started creating this thing, and she created this formula that not only was palm oil free and animal byproduct free, but didn't leave a film, didn't leave me dried out, it was pH balanced perfectly. And I was just like, that is so cool. Well, meanwhile, I had, of course, been in the above ground pool drinking my white wine out of the bladder, and making bad chicken jokes in the
With
low
a
key.
straw.
No, out of the bladder. You just push the button and squeeze. And so I just low key depression that everyone's the worst. Just everyone's fucking horrible is where I
Yeah.
was at. And I had a moment where I've talked about this on podcasts before. It's dark, but I had a moment where I looked at Jennifer. I just said, it's either blow my brains out or change the world. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no in between. I hate it here. And that was just about the time when that happened, was just about the time right after George Floyd was murdered. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, and I bawled, and he's crying for his mother. And I'm like, this is it. This is when we come together. It's the masks. Yeah. Okay. I'll forgive that. This is it. We just saw this man being murdered by the cops, and we're all going to come together and say that's wrong. And then we didn't. And that was the moment where I
Yep.
just went, well, I guess fuck everything. And I had this moment, and I realized that if luckily my wife said, well, why don't we do the latter? Is it blow your brains out, change the world? Let's do the latter. It's like, yeah, you know what? Okay, that's a good call. Thank you. And I was like, screw it. At this point, I'm looking around and I'm just thinking, obviously, as a white man in America, that is can present cis white male. I know, identify pansexual, but I look present cis white male, and I have a
Mm-hmm.
privilege there. But with that privilege comes the responsibility, and knowing that I can get a seat at tables a lot of people can't, a voice that a lot of people don't have. That my responsibility is to speak up and to be loud and to fight for what is right. And I decided, well, let's take this amazing soap formula. It's a vehicle. I always tell people it's mission before money. If this business was about money, I would have quit long ago because it's so much work. But because the mission of this company from the beginning, uh, don't I, it comes with the ADHD and the ADHD, but being obedient, defiant, don't tell me what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like an unfettered capitalist system is kind of telling me what the fuck to do. And I'm like, no, I think people should be first. I think the planet should come first. And of course, when you start really thinking about capitalism, it's not just financial, it's environmental and it's human. And
Yep.
there's so much to it. Of course, we lean into the financial and the ship starts to go. So I was like, well, what if we built this company as a resistance to unfettered capitalism, as a giant middle finger? Let's put people before profit. Let's focus on diversity and eco-friendliness, sustainability. Mind you, this is in 2020 before they made being a good human illegal. And so this is back, and I'm like, let's just build it the right way. I built it like a band. I brought in the goats at what they did, and made them partners in the company. From our branding and graphics partner, Alex, I brought him in and gave him a percentage of the company. And I was like, dress is for the job we want, not the job we have. We've had some partners come and go, but we had a lawyer that was a partner for a while, helped us get set up with our member partner LLC and stuff like that. For one of our early partners who helped us, she's a web designer, got our first website up. Well, second, mine was first, but I don't like to talk about it because it was functional. It was functional. Let's say that it was functional. But she got helped us get the site up, and so I wanted from the beginning to never take venture capital. I didn't want to ever have to answer to anyone, to a board, to
Hmm.
anyone that wanted to put money before people. And to this day, still not taken a venture capital. We built strategically from our kitchen to where we are. So that was the beginning of it. Was first of all, let's build a company the right way. Second of all, I'm a 12-year-old in my brain and I want to make bad jokes. So, of course, if we're going to be a soap company, if we're going to have, I believe scents for everybody. So, we have our masculine line because people think of scent as masculine. Fine. So, of course, we're going to call it our cock line because of roosters, obviously.
Yep.
We have our fruits and citrus line, our floral line, but then we have our non-binary line. And why has a soap company never had a non-binary line before? Of course, it's perfect. But all of our soaps have pronouns on them. So our cock line at the bottom, it says he, she, they. Fruits and citrus, she, he, they. Floral, she, he, them, etc. And then they, them on non-binary. And so then, of course, we want to put it out an exfoliate, and it's illegal to say exfoliate. If you're a soap company, you have to be cosmetic. So I'm like, well, it's exfoliant, obviously, FOWL. So it's like I've learned how to, I call it facilitate my brain, facilitate, manipulate. So if I can facilitate my brain with a problem, I can manipulate it with the dopamine to solve it. So it's the superpower of ADHD. So basically, I started combining all these superpowers, these forces around me in this vehicle of this soap to build something that could really be a difference maker. As far as the understanding that I still have to this day, and you can't convince me otherwise, is that there is no way to take on big business head on. You can't do it. They are in control. They will take you down. They will destroy you if they want to. They allow us to operate.
Right.
But you know what we can do? We can affect their bottom line. I was like, what if we built a community? What if we built a community of people that understood not just the sustainability side, that when they buy from us, we're not putting any plastic waste into the dump, or
Hmm.
as little as possible as a small business. It's the bigger we've gotten to drums now where we have steel, and but as that's our goal, is to have as little as possible and then no plastic waste at all in our packaging.
Yep.
So when they buy our product, not only are they keeping all that out of the dump and buying a sustainable product, sure, that feels great, but it's also a drop in the bucket. And that's how it felt to me when I made sustainable choices. But what if they did it with millions of other people? So now you have millions of people making actual actionable change, but also you're taking away money from big business. Now you start to take money away from these big businesses. They either want to buy you, but if they or take you down, but if they can't, they're going to change. You're going to force their hand to change because their board is going to say, okay, how do we make money? We need growth every quarter. Well, if you're losing money, obviously you got to figure it out. Well, this business over here, they're doing it like this. They're paying a living wage. They're doing sustainable practices. They're diverse. And it's like, well, then we need to do more of that. But here's the thing is we are also teaching our followers and our family, our community about authenticity because people can see right through bullshit. They can see right through it.
Yep.
So these businesses, if they're going to actually do it, they're going to have to truly do it. They're not gonna be able to greenwash. They're gonna actually have to do it because we'll have the ability, we'll have the community, the platform to call it out.
Hmm.
We can control that narrative and we can do it the right way for no other reason than it is the right way. Not for money, not for power, not for any of that. Money or power were never something that I craved, ever. It's not a hole I have to fill. It's not a void in my life. But you've seen what it does to people that it is. They never fill it. So what if we
Right.
can build this? What can you do besides take me out? Because your money doesn't mean anything. I didn't build a business to sell it. And a lot of people do. They build it and they want to sell. Well, then who do they sell to? The people with the money who want to make more money. So we keep selling our dreams. We keep selling these beautiful concepts, these ideologies that we build, and people are like, well, you're alienating half of your customers by being anti MAGA, which by the way, we're not anti MAGA. MAGA's anti us. We're pro human. They just happen to be
Right.
anti human. Fuck them.
Exactly.
They don't get that energy in my head. But the thing is, we're not alienating them. Anytime they want to be a good human and practice kindness
Yep.
and basic human decency, come
Yep.
on over. You can buy from us. That's why we end
Yep.
a lot of our commercials or our ads with, if you don't suck at being a person, we might be for you. That's it. Just don't suck. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, you you know, we want to build a community of not just customers but family that when they come to an event, we do a lot of markets and festivals. When they come there, they feel safe. I mean, we just won the Allied Business of the Year from the LGBTQ Pride Chamber of Tennessee. And
That's
that
awesome.
was the best award. I wouldn't want any other award ever.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's the award. That to me just was everything. I want every customer that comes to our booth and, festival that see someone wearing our logo, our branding, to know that's a safe person. That is a person they can be around, they can talk to, that will love them. I don't do bullies. I detest bullies. Um, I was bullied as a kid. I won't do it, and so I don't want them around. And it's unfortunate that it's pretty easy to anger and shun MAGA. You just say, "I believe in basic human decency," and they're like, "Liberal."
Right.
I'm like, that was fucking easy. Like that's where you got me was like, anyways, that was a long answer for a short question, huh?
Well, let's talk a minute about, this whole exclusion
Not,
concept because I publish Midwest Yoga Magazine, and last summer I was at a book fair with the magazine, and there was a drag queen story hour.
there
And
was a
I
drag king
recorded,
story hour. You said story
hmm
hour? Yeah.
yep, yep. And so I recorded a little snippet of it and put it on the Instagram, and it was adorable. Like they
Hmm.
were singing it was to the tune of Wheels on the Bus, but it was about I don't remember what it was about.
Ankles full of
And
pus. Was that the Trump song? Oh, that
no,
was terrible.
it's little kids.
Okay,
Um,
sorry. I was making fun
and
of.
so I know.
Go ahead.
And so I couldn't believe some of the hate that I
Yeah.
got in the comments because typically the yoga community in general is pretty inclusive, right? But
Right.
there's always the outliers. And I had someone going off on me that I was excluding my Republican readers. And I'm like, no, we're not excluding anybody. You're excluding yourself.
Yourself.
And then she
Thank you.
tried to argue with me. I'm a person of color. I understand inclusivity. You're still excluding us. And I was just like, go away, block. Like there's no explaining it to them. They're the ones excluding themselves. That's
Yeah.
how inclusion works. We include everyone. If you're a Republican, you can still be part of this community.
Don't be a
Um,
dick.
yeah, just
Just don't
don't
be
be
a
a
dick.
dick. Mm-hmm. Be a
That's
kind
what it,
human.
I think the second you stop being a dick, you're not a Republican anymore. I guess
Well, that's a fair point.
I don't know. It's like, oh wow, so you're just gonna like be kind to this person and accept that, then that's normal. That's being a good human. But yeah, no. What's the question? What would you like me to take on that? Because there's a lot we can take
Oh,
from that.
yeah, there wasn't really a question, I guess. It
Oh
was more just a statement of
yeah.
like, they're the ones excluding themselves. And they
Mhm.
try to throw that at us a lot, that we're excluding them from the conversation. It's like, no, we're not. You're the
Yeah.
ones doing that.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
welcome here. If again you just weren't going to be hateful. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we have to remember, hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And if we remember that
100%.
nobody that comes into the comment section to say something terrible is okay. There's a reason.
Mhm.
Nobody says that stuff unless they are hurt. Nobody,
Right.
nobody ever in the history of ever says something as horrible as some of the things these people say unless they're hurt. And so I have to stop and like that's why I don't give them the energy. People are like, "Don't you hate that?" I'm like, "No." It's like to
Yeah.
hate that would be to respect them,
Yeah.
and I don't give them. They
Same.
don't get that from me. Sorry, and that's what they want. We did a video the other day, and it was talking about that about how that's how they feed. That's how they feed. They feed
Hmm.
on reaction. And they do that because, I mean, they don't have any of their own identity, of their own personality, especially now with what MAGA has become, or what MAGA is, always has been, but what Republicans become. They've made this one man their entire identity. It's like
Yeah.
without their hat, without their flag, what are they? And so they have to protect themselves. And I do understand where that's coming from, is protecting what they think is their entire being. And so it's sad. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying like that needs to be our view, is not anger at them. You can be mad
Hmm.
at them, but God, it's pathetic. It's honestly
Yeah.
not worth my time. And if they use soap, then you can use somebody else's. That's fine. Your
You know,
loss.
and they come into my comments. I mean, I every day it's you're
Yeah.
fat, you're ugly, you're a dumb bitch.
Oh, that's
And
another level too. Female versus a male. We'll get into
yeah,
that, how they talk.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it's just like it really doesn't faze me. Like they're
It's
trying to
slimy
attack
though.
my looks. They're trying to their hope is that they make me cry and leave Instagram and
Sure.
stop using my voice. That's their goal. So I'm not going to let them win, right? But it's like they can't even argue the topic that I'm talking about. They have to just go
Right.
straight to physical attributes
Mhm.
and try and put you down. And it's just like how sad is
Well,
your
and then some of
life
the
that that's your argument? You're fat and ugly.
yeah.
I know I'm fat and ugly. I don't care.
It's funny. And it's different how, what we get, because I talk to a lot of the female influencers that I know that it's a definite different approach. The misogyny
Yes.
and is
Yes.
wild. But we'll get stuff like they'll come at Jennifer, they like to hit on our age difference. Now Jennifer's 9 years older than me. And they like to say stuff like calling her out for being older. But one of my favorite, and they don't usually know what to do with me because it's like, I'm what? What are you gonna get me for being bald? Like, okay, come at me. Like, they don't
And they're
even.
probably bald
Oh
themselves.
God, don't look at the profile picture. Don't
I
ever look at the
know.
profile picture.
I know. It's
But
like an
one of
ogre.
my favorite ones is, oh, she definitely pegs him. I get that one all the time. She definitely pegs him. Well, the first time I had to look it up because I didn't know what pegging was. And so I look it up. I'm like, oh, and so cool. That's where your mind went first. Tells me a lot about you.
Right?
But
Right?
secondly,
Uh-huh.
my response
Projection.
is always, oh, only if I ask. Yeah,
Only if it's consensual.
only if I ask. Yeah, that's called consent. Do you not know anything about that? They don't. But yeah, like only if I ask. Get out of here. Who cares? And my favorite all time is just gay. And I'm like, thank
Yes. Yeah.
you. Like, appreciate that. Like, compliment accepted. What
I
do
get
you
told I'm
got?
a trans man. Yeah, I get told I'm
It's
trans all the time, and I'm like, that's not a flex, buddy. It
not.
doesn't do what you think it does.
And then look at the profile picture. Always look at the
I
profile
know.
picture.
It's always, always, always. And sometimes I used to have fun calling them out, but then it kind of got boring.
It
Like I would
does.
go take a screenshot of their
Yeah,
profile picture.
same.
Like, oh, this is you?
Yeah, same. And then, but every once in a while I'll still do it. But it's the same person on repeat. It's
Yeah.
just the same. You're dealing with the same exact person over and over and over. And that's the whole lack of identity. They don't have original thoughts. They have thoughts that are given to them. So at the end of the day, it is the same person over and over, and it's a waste of time. And it does nothing to serve moving forward as a society, moving forward as a business for us as people in general. Um,
Hmm.
they are stuck in a foregone era, and they want to make America great again, which what they're saying is when it was white people, obviously,
Hmm.
they want what never really was, but they have this illusion and grandeur and nostalgia for that's living in non-existence. It doesn't exist. So it's a waste of time to try to even communicate anything away outside of that. That's where you want to live. That's where your fantasy is. Just be over there. We're going to continue over here. And so there's one thing that I always try to bring up if people haven't read the book. And this was recommended to me by Maddie Curte by the Badass Culture. It's called Pranksters versus Autocrats, Autokratz. And Pranksters versus Autocrats is all about throughout time, out history, modern written history, how societies have brought down authoritarian regimes using humor. And it is amazing. It turns out I'd already been pulling from this in the videos I wrote. I didn't even realize it. But what it is how to bring down authoritarians through mocking, belittling, lose-lose situations, and just general humor. And so, basic things like there was this one, I forget what the revolution was, what the authoritarian regime was at this time, but it was they had these dolls that they weren't allowed to have these bears, and they put these whatever I don't know what it was. I'm sorry. It wouldn't have this logo. They weren't allowed to put up this logo that was like the opposite of it was the resistance logo, basically, the flag or whatever. So they took it and they put it on teddy bears, and they put it at the town square on these teddy bears. And it was supposed to be that if anybody wore this, they had to be arrested, the insignia had to be thrown away, etc. And so the setup was all these teddy bears had this logo on it, this insignia, and either the cops left it in plain sight, or the cops had to arrest teddy bears. And the joke, watching a bunch of police or whatever, military people arresting teddy bears is hilarious. And it makes them look small and it makes them look tiny. And that's the thing, is it's reframing the way we look at these authoritarians. They're not big. They're not strong. The reason they talk to you the way they do, the reason they call you trans, the reason they call you fat and ugly is they need someone beneath them to feel power.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have
Yep.
your own self-worth, your own value, well, obviously you need someone beneath you. So they're telling us what they need every day. Every time they say cry harder, everything that they're projecting, they need you to be
Yes.
small.
Yes.
And that's the saddest thing I've ever encountered, is someone else trying to make someone else feel small, because the fact is you're telling me you need them to be. Any normal person, no normal person would ever have to defend the size of their man, would have to defend the size of their penis. None.
Mm-hmm.
You have a president that had a press conference and he sent someone else to do it when South Park came after him. Like, this is what we're dealing with. Okay?
I
These are
fucking love
tiny,
South Park.
tiny people. And they are trying to just make everyone else scared, because that's the only way they know to get what they feel is
Yeah.
respect. It's the saddest, tiniest, bitchiest thing, but you watch them go, and what, to your point, it while you don't let it affect you, it does start to leave a slime on you
Yes.
over time. You read it enough times, it's just like the
Yes.
plant, that you put a plant in a room with classical music and one in a room with someone insulting it all the time. The plant with the classical
Mm-hmm.
music grows better. They are effective in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It
that's,
yes.
you know what I mean? It
Yep.
can
I
start
have
to,
days where I just have to walk away from the internet.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so that's where I've been really trying to figure out how to help myself. And I find, what I find really helps is I do a thing called dopamine drops. And dopamine drops are selfish, but they're also giving. And it's something that when I'm first scrolling in the morning, I go through and I find a creator or two that their video, their post, whatever, really just speaks to me. I leave a comment telling them what it meant to me and why, and then I share it and I like it. And
I love
without
that.
fail, at the end of the day, I go to check after I've gotten done with America kicking my ass, and fascism in a business and all the stuff that kicks our ass every day. And I check Instagram, and almost without fail, they've responded either on my post or done something similar, and it gives me that dopamine to be able to push through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I can set them up in the beginning, and that it is a little selfish, because then it comes back around. And it's like, thank you. I needed that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've started doing this, and I'm we're going to put a video out soon, kind of talking about it, about doing dopamine drops. And I have this idea of, what if we can just blow up the internet with everyone
Yeah.
dopamine dropping each other in comment sections, pushing the best content to the top, pushing content that's kind and caring and loving. And then what is it that they're going to say? What is the opposition's response to that going to be? Well, they're being too nice. There's too much love. Like, what
Right.
is, I think we win this by through kindness.
Yeah.
It's the one thing they don't want, one thing they can't stand.
Agreed.
Have you ever seen a MAGA laugh, like authentically laugh about something funny? No,
No.
no, they laugh at people. They
Yep.
laugh at people. They do a smug little laugh. They do that dumb shit, but it's never something funny. They're only laughing when others are harmed. That should tell you everything you need to know
Mm,
about them.
yes. Yes.
Laughter is the most purest form of freedom. To be able to laugh at anything, including oneself, that is growth. That is knowing yourself deeper than anybody can know you, is to be able to laugh at things, to find things humorous. But when the only things you find humorous are others, are belittling, demeaning others, when others are hurt or harmed, that says everything, and I mean everything about
And
who
it's
you are.
classic abuser
That's
behavior
it.
too.
Toxic abuser
Mm-hmm.
all
Yep.
day. That's what we're dealing with. And that's why they're like, oh, you're alienating your customers. I'm alienating abusers.
Mm-mm.
I don't want
Yes.
toxic people in my life. I don't want them
Yes.
in my customers' lives. I don't want them around. Stop
Yeah.
being toxic.
You know, and putting your money where your morals are, right? And like I think the biggest thing we saw this year was Target just fucking
Mhm.
blew themselves up.
Yeah.
Like when they rolled back their DEI initiatives, I mean, they were already pushing the limits when they caved to like all of the LGBTQ pride stuff. But then when they rolled back the DEI, that was like the nail in the coffin for them. And I was at least once a week at Target, especially if I had a Starbucks in it. And I haven't stepped foot in a Target since, I don't know, was that February?
Yeah.
I have not stepped foot in one.
And you're still alive.
I,
You're
I am
surviving.
still alive, but they have
Look at
not got
that.
a single penny of my money.
It looks like we can all do that, And
Mm-hmm.
that's how we blow this up. That's how we change the world. And I hate talking about buy from us because I don't like talking about money. I hate it. Our product speaks for itself. It'll change your life. It's amazing. From our no mosquito grease to our elbow grease to our soaps, all of it is amazing. It's eco-friendly. But at the end of the day, we don't talk about it much because I don't like selling. I don't like selling. I like building community. I like building what we're doing, but I also like promoting other businesses. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
this uh, company that we allow we've allowed to sell our stuff on through a collective through Shopify and called Little Blue Cart, and they're amazing. And Little Blue Cart has done the work of going out there and vetting and bringing in businesses that are progressive so that you're putting your money where your mouth is, that you are shopping
Yeah.
with businesses. I mean, I think about the fact that we have 142,000 followers, that if each one of those followers spent $20 a week on small business, that's $2.8 million a week that are going into small business. I mean, that's just us. We have this
Mm-hmm.
power. We
Yes.
have the purse. I mean, we have the power. So I mean, don't when you talk about target pays like that, that just shows how powerful we are. And the last thing that these billionaires, these wealthy, uh, motherfuckers want is for us to realize that because they want our
Mm-hmm.
money. They want our money. And at the end of the day, yes, it's hard to completely detach ourselves because they are involved in so many aspects of our life. Just using Comcast, which we're using right now for our internet to talk to you. Well, they're tied into a bigger group and there's billionaires involved. So,
Yeah.
yes, there is, but if we can build up small businesses, and
Yes.
I'm talk I'm going to talk about myself for 1 second and just say, if we can build up my small business and take this to the point, I will always be who I am. I want to kick down that door. I want to walk in there. I always tell people I present he, him, but my brain is she, her. I want a Trojan horse that shouldn't bring the patriarchy down myself. Like I will never stop fighting. And unfortunately, you have to have money and power to get into those rooms. So if I have to go get that money and power, I'll do it. And building a small business might not be the way, but what if people decided, oh, this small business, let's do it? Well, then send me, put me in, coach. Let's take this shit down. Let's take them on head on. I'm not afraid of them. I am smarter than them, funnier than them, better looking than them, faster than them. They try me. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, at the end of the day, I've seen what makes them cheer. They ain't got it, and I don't
Yep.
think people want it. So, I don't mean to, even that made me feel weird saying bye from my business. We have a great product, but I also like, that's my goal.
Entrepreneurs are always the worst at asking for the sale. Yeah,
I
I
just want to
get
go
that. I'm
get
the same way.
these, I just want to go bring this system down and
You
rebuild
know,
it.
I lived in an artist loft for 5 years in St. Paul, and I made a conscious decision that every single Christmas and birthday present I bought, I was buying from a neighbor.
Yeah. Love that.
And like, not only does that feel good to me, it feels good to the person you're buying it from. It shows that you're supporting them. But then the person who receives the gift is like, wow, this is super cool. And then they might buy from them again when the product runs out, right? Like they
Hopefully,
ran out of soap and oh, I like that soap. I'm gonna go buy more.
hopefully.
Um, So
because
hopefully that cycle continues. Yeah.
we needed to. And I think that's a lot of it is we live in such a short news cycle that we'll be gung ho about something and then we'll move on. And we need to remember that just because we bought, I posted about it, I supported a small business at Christmas. Well, they also need sales in June, you
Yes.
know? And so
Every single
remembering,
month.
yeah,
Hmm.
remembering to make it a part of our, routine. Make it part of our routine that we are buying from small businesses. Make, us or a soap company that like us that you believe in, your soap company. Make a
Hmm.
business that makes tea, your tea company. Like there are all of these routines we can set up to actually resist. And that's where the resistance lies is not just making that one-time purchase that you were going to show off on
Yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
that now people see and like, oh, they must be a good human because they bought from a small business. They shared that story about it. Just start doing it every day. Even when you're not posting about it. That's how we change the world, not by
Hmm.
just trends and catching on to the fire while it's hot. We do it every day. They can't stop us. They can't stop. They can kill us, but that's it. They can't stop us as long as we want it. That's the only way they stop
Yep.
us. So that's why I built a business. So,
Hmm. Yep. And I've been a serial entrepreneur my whole life. Like
Yeah,
I worked one corporate job out of college and otherwise I've been self-employed and I was a photographer for 25 years. And then now, like I said, I publish a magazine and I do other things. But it's also like you have control over everything. Like you're not reporting to Big Brother every day. No one's telling you what time you have to be to work. Like, you know?
that's nice too. It's one of
Uh-huh.
the reasons I never opened excuse me, I burped, that I never opened a brick and mortar was because I know the
Yeah.
second that I put hours in the door, I won't want to show up.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
don't tell me what to do, me. It's no
Yep.
desire. But we built our facility that we're in is 2 story. It's about 5,500 square feet, and we got production floor downstairs and upstairs. I made it a clubhouse. Like I've got an office, but got a full bathroom up and down. I built a kitchen out. We got a living room little area, like a big open event space. We have a table in there, like family dinner kind of stuff. And I made it into a space which for the last 4 days, our AC went out. We couldn't get someone there till today. So we had to stay at our facility. But we could because we had a space
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
to make it a clubhouse, to make it somewhere I wanted to go. And I could escape and go upstairs or go downstairs. If I wanted to be sciencey and go down there and create stuff and make sense. Or if I want to go upstairs and escape it, I can. And I mean, I think from every aspect of this business, I know it's just an extension of who I and my wife are. It's just building something that we want to be a part of, we want to be around, and that hopefully other people, which it seems to be the case, want to be around too and want to be a part of. And that's why I say, welcome to the revolution.
Mm,
It is us all together, and we're
absolutely.
no bigger. I mean, that's the thing is that I'm not important. It's not me, it's not her, it's none of us. It's all of us, the collective. We rise together. If we can remember that, man, I'm just along for this ride with y'all. And I like if I can help some people wake up and like
Yeah.
go with us, like come on, like front line, let's go, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still want to, a good cry, a bottle, and a nap like any other person. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
You know, and that's partly why I created this podcast was just to help uplift other creators and, you know, everybody can help give everybody else exposure and help grow our own, collectively grow our voices. And like, I feel like it's been a really interesting ride on Instagram, right? Like, you and I both, we kind of just exploded overnight after the inauguration. But like it feels like family. Like
mhm.
there's all these creators and we all follow each other and we all comment on each other and it's like we feel like one big family, one big community. And my own followers who are so supportive and send me messages and comment really nice things and it's like I don't know, it's so cool to know we're making a difference
Yeah. And I think they
and
can
and there
too.
are great people in this world.
Mhm. And my goal is to wake them up and remind them that they have a platform too,
Hmm.
you know, and that they're no different. That we all started shouting into the void. We all started with
Hmm.
0 followers. We all started because we had something that we wanted to put out there, and that we were sick of something, or we were ready to do something. And I think that's what's so cool, is that it's not just you and me. It's not just the creators,
Hmm.
the influencers. It's reminding
Hmm.
everyone how powerful they are, that their voice
Yes.
is so important. And if they will speak up and they will say the truth, man, we create an entire internet of people that are changing the world,
Yes. Yes.
and I would be happy to step right back out of the limelight if I looked around and I was like, my work here is done. And everyone is just speaking loud and like out there doing it. It's not about me. I don't want to be on video. I personally don't want to be out there doing it. But I also know that no one else is going to do it the way that I know it needs to be done in my perspective. And then so screw it. I'll do it. Whatever. Hate me, love me, but I'm not super worried about that, because there are, like you
Mm.
said, amazing people out there that reach out and saying thank you. And it's like, man, my pleasure. Like,
Yep.
thank you for letting me know, because also, it's exhausting
Hmm.
all the
It
time.
is. It is. It is. It's definitely like a 2/3 time job for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
On
running a
top of my
business on
full
top.
time.
I know. I
Yes.
know. And I'm trying, I think the hardest part is trying to be a business and speak out, and how do they correlate the two, and how do we tie the two
Hmm.
together? Because I don't want our entire persona to be bashing Trump. I don't want our entire persona to be bashing Vance or bashing these idiots. But also, we need to minimize, we need to laugh at them. We need to show how
Hmm.
absurd they are. He is 100% on the Epstein list, and we need to make sure people fucking know that. We need to
Yeah.
keep talking about it and never let that motherfucker down. That
Yep.
you need to know, and he needs to be fucking exposed. So, I mean, there's stuff like that too, that it's like, well, soap, it feels a little bit tone deaf when shit like that's going on. I'm like, okay, talk about soap, but over here. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, there's we have a chance right now,
Yeah.
while the pendulum is at its
Yep.
heading towards its full tilt on one side, to rewrite the future, or to write it for the first time, but to create the future we want to live in. And it all begins with the conversations we're having, with the energies that we're putting out into the world, because as it starts swinging back, the energies that are the loudest, which hopefully are the energies of love and acceptance and kindness, will be the leaders as we come
Hmm.
back to the other side. And I hold on to that, that without a
Yeah.
fail, love
Yeah.
wins in the end. If love hasn't won, it's not the end.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Well, Trevor, I think that's a great note to end on. And I want to make sure we take a moment to make sure everyone knows how to find you. We have all this in the show notes as well, but you are at My Cluck Hut on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And mycluckhut.com is
Yeah.
your website.
Like my fuck
And
hut, but chickens. That's I have to say that on the phone to like the power company. They're like, my what? Like, my fuck hut, but chickens. Oh, my cluck hut. Like,
yep, yep.
yeah.
I love it. Oh, well, Trevor, thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation, and I really appreciate you being here and sharing with our listeners today.
Thank you. Hey, Amy, and to your listeners, y'all keep fighting the good fight. We rise together.
Mm, absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Unfiltered Dissent. If today's conversation resonated with you, please share this episode and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an update. If you'd like to support the show and help amplify more dissent, join me over on Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Zellmer. Your support helps keep these conversations unfiltered and unapologetic. And also, if you'd like to help support the Unfuck America tour, please use the Act Blue link in my show notes, because it truly takes a village to support a tour like this. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, it's at Amy Zellmer for more content, conversations, and ways to get involved. Until next time, stay bold, stay loud, and never stop questioning the narrative. Because when we speak up, we don't just resist, we create change.